broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Here it is. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AFTERBUZZ TV recap of Heroes Reborn, Season 1, Episode 8, Sundae, Bloody Sunday. I don't know where that song choice came
Sunday,
from.
Bloody Sunday.
I'm your host, as always, Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter, at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. But I am far from alone. Never alone at this panel.
What's
Joining
up,
me as usually.
Hey everyone, I'm Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV.
That's right, and you can follow me, Jonathan Meza, at Kaibacat, K-A-I-B-A-C-A-T, Kaibacat, Instagram, Twitter, the whole shebang.
Yes, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
Before we jump into this episode, that I think we're both chomping at the bit to jump into the episode, we have a very special guest joining us. He has written the 5th novella in the Heroes Reborn series of novellas that specifically deals with Claire.
Yes.
And her storyline from the end of the original series to presumably now, which will drop on the 20th of this month being November. My mind is crazy. Mr. Keith
DeCandido.
I scribbled last name.
You got it right.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Keith.
My pleasure.
You said you didn't see this episode yet, but you had read the script, and you're obviously involved very heavily in the creative process. What can you tell us about Claire's origin and this book?
Well, that's not. I mean, her origin was pretty much detailed in the original series. What the purpose of my particular novella? That's one of 5 that is going to drop on the 20th by a bunch of different writers that are all going to fill in different bits and pieces of backstory on various characters. What my specific job was to do was to bridge the gap between when Claire jumped off the Ferris wheel at the end of the 4th season of Heroes and June 13th, basically. So that was my basic purpose, was to show what life had been like for Evos in the time between when Claire outed everybody and the big summit. Specifically from her point of view.
Which is awesome. I think it's a ton of information the fans are going to look forward to reading and finding out about. There's so many questions that I know everyone's been asking about Claire, since we didn't get a lot of her because obviously Hayden's contract with Nashville. So I'm kind of curious. I have a question for you. I don't know if I could even ask this, Keith. Let me know if I'm going.
You can ask me anything you want. I can't promise I'll answer it.
Okay. Okay. One of the biggest questions about Claire that people have been asking is about her lover, husband, whoever the baby's daddy is. Will that information be revealed?
Maybe.
Dang, it's a maybe. That's a maybe.
Such a tease. Such a tease.
Well, that's all.
All right, thanks.
Those are all the questions.
I can safely say is that you will be given exactly the amount of information that the producers of the show thought was appropriate. I'll just leave it at that. One of the great things about this project that's been I've been doing this type of work, media tie-in work, for over 20 years now. And I've written Star Trek novels, I've written World of Warcraft novels, Supernatural, Sleepy Hollow, all sorts of different things. I have never had this close a collaboration with the production staff of what I was tying into, except, at least, certainly not in television. The only one that would come close would be the Blizzard games, World of Warcraft and StarCraft, where I dealt directly with the creative people there.
Sure.
But in terms of an ongoing TV show, the producers, Tim Kring, James Middleton, and the rest of them have all been phenomenal. They've been really good about keeping us in the loop. We got to see, like I said, I've read the script for tonight's episode. I haven't actually had a chance to sit and watch it yet because my DVR is horribly backed up.
It's the golden age of television. I don't blame you.
Yeah, and but they were very good about keeping us in the loop on the scripts, letting us know about updates, and making sure that all of these novellas are as consistent as possible with the overall vision of Heroes Reborn. So let's just say that any information there may or may not be about whoever is the father of the twins is there because it's exactly the amount of information that is meant to be revealed about it, which is incredibly vague, but that's really all I can say.
I have a question. It's interesting to hear how you were so closely tight-knit with the production staff in creating this story. I was curious how that affected the creative process of you actually coming across and making this story, your own.
They just basically gave me a basic idea of what they wanted to see, but I still had plenty of room to play around with it, and I'm still I was still writing characters that already existed to some extent. There are also some that I made up as well. Mm-hmm. But I like I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. It's no more or less difficult for me than somebody who's been hired to write an episode of the show. Not all 13 episodes are written by the same writer or writing team. It's still under the guidance of the showrunners, but it's still different people, coming in to write stuff, and each has their, even on any TV show, there are certain scriptwriters who have their own particular style and their own thing that they bring to it, and I'd like to think I did the same thing, and so did, all the other writers who wrote the various novellas, bringing their own particular, talents and point of view to this little corner of the Heroes Reborn universe. So.
Now, did you have any difficulties writing in the voice of Claire, and especially every, things that were covered in seasons 1 through 4? And granted, so many years have passed since the actual first show of Heroes, the original Heroes, have aired. Were there any difficulties remembering her character, certain storylines while during this writing process of yours?
Well, not really, because I sat and watched all 4 seasons. I jam-watched all 4 seasons.
Okay.
And I did notice you do that. I was looking at your information. That is like a thing you do, my friend. You check out shows.
It's the only way to do it. Even if it's something I was already familiar with. I did a Farscape comic book for Boom Studios back starting in 2008. I was collaborating with Rockne O'Bannon, the producer of the show, who created the show. It was sort of a post-finale thing. And even though Farscape was one of my favorite shows, I loved it. I watched it religiously. I still sat down again and watched every episode because, you're watching it with a different eye when you're going to be writing tie-in fiction. And you're paying more attention to things like character voices and how they would speak. So I, pretty much done a crash course on the character of Claire Bennett before I started writing. So I was pretty sure I would be able to get her voice, as well as the other character. Noah Bennett plays a fairly decent-sized role in the novella, as do some other people who I can't say who they are, but suffice it to say there are familiar characters to be found.
Speaking of familiar characters, and I know. If I'm free to ask this question, it's from Lydia Sabaris in our chat. Do we find out where Peter is during all this? Peter Petrelli specifically.
I kind of, sort of,
kind of.
Okay, but he's there.
We'll take kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense because
the name Peter Petrelli does show up in the story. I will say that.
Okay.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
How difficult is it?
And let's just say, one thing I can say is there are characters from both Heroes and Heroes Reborn who show up in it. There are a few characters from Heroes Reborn who we see as they were before the show started, including one character who we only saw for about 2 seconds.
Interesting. Yeah, nice.
I like that. How difficult is it security-wise working with a project of this size and within a mythos of this stature? Are there?
Well, I had to sign 2 non-disclosure agreements, which is one more than I usually have.
Yeah, because usually you only need one, right?
Yeah, non-disclosure is generally a binary state, but
yes, exactly. You had to sign a non-disclosure so you couldn't talk about the first non-disclosure.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. They both. It was weird, but for that reason, I was very careful about saying anything. I said nothing about this until I didn't even say I was involved with it until it was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Because the press release had my name on it, so it was like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I guess I can talk about it.
When like I say, it's no different. It's more intense than it has been for other projects, but there's a time and a place to start talking about things, particularly in the internet age. And I've always been very careful to make sure that I don't talk about anything before I'm supposed to. I've done a bunch of movie novelizations where I wasn't allowed to reveal anything. I novelized Serenity, and I had to keep the fact that Wash and Book were killed under my hat 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
Especially because they delayed the movie 6 months. So I'm just sitting there.
That must have been so hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's that also is part of the job. It's something that I'm used to. Like I said, this particular version of it was considerably more intense than it has been for others, because it was an ongoing series that is very where I mean, there's a lot of spoiler phobia out there that I think has gotten to the point of absurdity. But in this particular case, because of the very labyrinthine nature of the Heroes franchise, you don't want to give away too much. So I was very careful about what I basically didn't reveal anything until somebody else said it first.
Do you have perhaps maybe a character that you originated in this series or in this story that you could share that, you know, was different or interesting, that was really fun to you specifically?
There was one guy. There's a point in the story where we look in on protests that are happening in Europe, specifically in Paris, over changes to laws regarding EVOs as time has gone on, and the point of view character there in the middle of one particular demonstration that goes very badly. I had fun with him.
All right. Okay.
Fun to come up with people with different powers and such.
A rabble rouser. I like it.
No, actually, this is the guy he's there protesting, and when things get out of hand, he kind of gets caught up in the craziness of it.
Oh.
But so that was fun. It was also one bit I particularly like doing. There's a bit where Claire actually gets to use. Okay, she is a teenage. She grew up in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Football is the state religion in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So I had her actually use her knowledge of football to her advantage at one point.
All right.
That's just something that struck me. Okay, she's a girl from Texas. We got to do this.
Of course. Yeah, football is life out there. Yeah, high school football is life even. Like it's
like
crazy.
not even major not even national football. Just football in general. So. Thank you so much for joining us, Keith.
Wait, I have one more question before you go, Keith. I'm sorry. Just looking over all your information. I mean, there's information on your Twitter. It says you're a black belt. Are you really a black belt?
Yeah.
Hey, pretty cool, man. Nice.
In fact, just this I teach a couple of after-school programs here in New York City, and I had actually just done one this afternoon at a local place where kids go after school, and part of the after school program is I teach a weekly karate class, and I also teach some other kids classes, and I still train. But I've been doing that for 11 years now.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah. I love it. Little fun information.
Black belt for 6 years, but I've been training. But I do that too.
Nice.
That's amazing. So in essence, you're saving the world as well.
If nothing else, it makes me able to write fight scenes with a bit more authority.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Keith. Where can they find? We mentioned the Twitter. Where can the people find you on Twitter?
The Twitter account is Kradec, Kradec. And I tweet there kind of regularly. I also you can also find me on Facebook pretty commonly, and I do some writing for Tor.com and of course my own website at decandido.net. So.
Nice.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
your novella drops November the 20th.
Alongside the other four.
All 5 of the original novellas, by Timothy Zahn, Stephen Blackmore, Duane Szerzynski, and Kevin Anderson and Peter Wax, and mine. They're all going to be released in ebook form on November 20th, and you can pre-order them now from pretty much anywhere you can order ebooks from.
Looking at Amazon right now.
Whatever. They're all available.
Cool.
So excited to read it.
Yeah, thanks, Keith.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, man.
All right.
Wow, that was cool.
That was really cool.
Really cool.
Now, we're not going to act like we're rushing, but we have to jump into this episode.
And we have 30 minutes.
We have an amount of time.
Yeah, all right.
That's a fluid idea. Let's jump right into Taylor, who's working with the Hero Truthers. They hack her computer.
Yes.
It's good that she's good.
Yes.
I like that fact because at the beginning of this season, they kind of played out and the audience didn't know if she was good or bad, but the fact that they established she's good, or she is a rebel turned good, I like that.
Yeah, she's working on the side of the good now. She's one of the hero truthers in herself.
Yeah.
And I dug sort of... I mean, I do have a question, actually, before we even go further with it, about the message that she got on her computer and who sent that message, because Micah is captured at this point. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of curious about who sent that message, or if someone else in that truther organization also has a power that's similar. We did see the girl with the eyes who can create like a projection.
It's not unreasonable to think the hero truthers are just good hackers too.
That's a good point.
That's maybe purple pants theory, but maybe that's not too far off. That they can just. Also, she's on a MacBook Pro in like in just like a hotel room, like on fairly open Wi-Fi. Like I think any hacker worth their salt could probably just track her down.
Yeah,
you know, someone who's good with coding or knows computer systems. I mean, we had what was his name, Otamu. The creator of Katana Girl, he was great with programming. So I don't know, maybe.
But it is worth bringing up. She pretty much gets picked up in Los Angeles, brought to a shady place.
Yeah.
As far as we can tell, Erica
changed her hair.
She changed her hair as well. As far as we can tell, Erica flat out shows up, asks her like, "Why did you do this? You're captive now. Give up everything," and she doesn't. And then we find out that it's not Erica, it's a shapeshifter. And there is the Haitian and 3 other people.
Yes.
Who we do not know yet.
Yes.
Maybe they're in the novella.
Who
Hopefully
knows?
they're in the novella.
Maybe. Yeah, but we've got we've got one woman who's got projection to some extent.
Yes.
We've got the Haitian.
That was cool.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
we've got
she's
3.
good with video.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got, of course, 3 people who we don't know what they do. And oh yes, I love that you guys are keeping it going. Hashtag Hero Wars. Hashtag Hero Wars.
Hashtag Hero Wars.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hashtag Haitian lives.
Yes, I love it. By the way, I'm so happy. Just want you guys to know, I'm so happy the Haitian's alive. I love the
here.
Haitian.
I think this is the darkest timeline in every other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Haitian lives.
The Haitian lives.
Because you can't kill him after 2 minutes of having him back on screen. So
There's hope now.
Happy.
There's hope.
There's definitely hope. And they set up what looks to be next week's mission, which is they need to find Micah.
Yeah.
We also know Micah is A, alive and exists, and B, founded the Hero Truthers.
That's good, because he's at an age where he could like start a revolution.
He's like at that
Yeah,
perfect
and if you guys
Yeah.
saw the what's it called, the pre-series, the online series, Micah looks cool, man. Micah's doing his thing. Yeah.
He's growing up too.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Darius in the chat wants to know, does the face projection need Wi-Fi, or is it just built in? Is there a firmware update?
That's amazing.
Does it have to get serviced?
That's
There are
true.
a lot of questions about
You know what? And when the
system.
cool thing about having a character like that is whenever you want to watch something on big screen, you just plug it into her butt, and then
That's exactly where you'd put it. Nowhere else. All right, so that's what we got about the Hero Truthers. We can move right on to Carlos and Deering heading on over to Sunstone Manor.
Yeah.
Something they were doing, 5 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? Like
It feels that way.
It feels like a really long...
like
it feels like they literally went back in time for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. But now we're finally there. He wants to break out Jose and the Smoke Father. I forget Father...
I like the Smoke Father. That's
priest.
fun.
The priest.
The
Smoke Father.
priest, but
Smoke
He
Father.
wants to break out Jose and the...
Hashtag Smoke Father.
Jose and the Smoke Father.
Jose and Father Smoke. Okay, yeah.
Father Smoke.
Father
All right.
Smoke.
I like
Father
it.
Smoke. We're
Yes.
in.
Yep.
Apparently, Evo hunting is a profession in this world.
You get paid $10K pop for each Evo you bring in. All right.
And
I
then
guess people are
bonuses
doing
for
it.
things like time travel.
And it's all in cash too.
Yeah, right. Big
you
money,
go.
no whammy. Stop. Like, that's not bad.
So, did any of us say Sunstone Manor was going to be not evil?
We all.
Or did anyone say it was going to be evil?
We thought it was shady to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Definitely nefarious.
That was the
In
word.
some way. Yeah,
that was the word. We kept
It's
saying the
nefarious
word.
in a way.
But I know I was dead wrong as of last week. I thought that was Angela Parkman's Angela Petrelli. I thought that was Angela Petrelli's hippy dippy place.
New
and
business.
it was not.
Well, the name is completely a misnomer, and to throw people off, you think it'd be a happy place. I mean, it's not.
No, but that is kind of the thing about it, because it's the place you don't want to leave, because you think to them who's stuck there, it's a happy place because they're being controlled by Parkman. But the truth is, it's not. He's opposite Professor X. He's Professor Z.
Also with Parkman, and we get a pretty lengthy reveal of Parkman. And let me know in the chat if I'm dead wrong, but two camera cuts, like maybe 20 seconds. That's how long it took me to realize it was Parkman. And then they kept cutting away. I could tell by the voice almost immediately, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt. 20 seconds. They went a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, they
cutting him neck up or cutting him like waist
body up.
Yeah, we're like, we already had the reveal in a previous episode of June 13th. We don't need to do this.
It's not like he wasn't. It's not like that character wasn't in the series up till now.
Yeah. I think they were just trying to build it up that out of all the Evos that you think it'd be Parkman controlling all these guys. I mean, that for the audience that was just trying to be a big surprise, where we kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, I think I'm actually shocked with myself for not picking it out before the commercial break, where we actually saw him, because it's like, well, he had a commercial. He had his own commercial.
He did have his own commercial.
He was credited up top, but also everyone in this place was clearly being clearly under mind control.
Yeah,
pushed.
Wasn't that?
We none of us picked that up. That was something none of us caught. We're like, mind control. Of course, it's Parkman. And of course, in June 13th, we realized that he's working for Erica and Renatus at that point. So maybe we could have put 2 and 2 together. We didn't. Whoopsie doodle. I do love that Flukas in the chat when we were talking with Keith said Matt Parkman has sold out so much he's doing commercials. That was fantastic. Thank you, Flukas.
Very
Flukas.
True.
Yeah.
And I don't like the side of Matt Parkman because we know he can be a good guy. He has been a good guy. So it's frustrating to see him sell
I think they need to go for broke with sellout/heel Matt Parkman.
Sellout/
heel.
Heel?
It's a wrestling term.
The heel. He's a heel. He's a heel. Yeah, he is a heel.
Again,
he's totally a heel. We've had Matt Parkman. He's gone from face to heel from the last series to this series, and of course Quentin is the biggest turn.
Biggest turn of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say I don't want a Parkman turn at all at this point.
Yeah.
He just needs to go full-fledged heel for the rest of this run.
Agreed. Stay evil.
I don't want that.
Evil Matt Parkman.
Because the audience who really have watched the show from the beginning know that Parkman's good, and I think for the actual true fans of Parkman would want to see him be good again.
I like him evil. His power is so great.
He's interesting.
Don't play with me. He's evil.
Say that.
I say keep him evil. Matt Parkman stays evil.
Just the integrity of his character.
Evil Parkman.
Turn him back to good.
Yeah. Hey Wilson, for him to control that many people, it's pretty mecha. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore, man. For him to control all those people, Parkman's power is off the chizzy chain. Yeah.
Okay.
Off the Chizzy Chain.
I'll just let that silence speak for how I feel about Chizzy Chain.
So he killed Deering.
Deering killed Deering.
Yeah.
Deering.
A little push.
Under
Parkman's guys, if you will. And then they catch Carlos, because Carlos, in a very comic booky, in a very cartoony fashion, just beats up a guard and takes his clothes.
Yeah, it was pretty cartoony.
And the clothes fit.
After being electrocuted. Yeah. No, that was
later. It was later.
And then he got tased by 9 dudes.
Parkman, I felt that was cartoony.
It was a little funny.
But Parkman gets into his head and finds out about Farah. We finally get what we've been waiting for Carlos, which is actually seeing what happened there. My only issue is, why did Farah say, you need to unleash the secret weapon?
No. She just said, use your weapon. Use your weapon.
Use your weapon.
We're getting killed and wiped out.
Yeah, use your weapon.
Okay, I read.
She was saying, stop being a little bitch and use your gun and get out there and fight. We're getting murdered.
And then he's the one who got all the credit in the end.
I read way too much into that. Okay, so Farah was still totally the secret weapon, because she went invisible and flanked everybody. I get it. Parkman's after her. Parkman may or may not be working for Renatus.
Oh, he is.
Renatus.
We know he is.
Someone on Twitter corrected me pretty hard. It's Renatus.
Yeah, Renatus.
It's Renatus, and we're going to move
And that's kind of where we leave off there, yeah.
Yeah.
Parkman's evil, and he's kind of cool evil. I like him evil.
All right, so pretty much everything else that's left is between 2 different topics. This first topic, which is Luke, Molina, Emma, Casper, Joanne, Tommy.
All right, let's do it.
Comes to head.
Luke, Molina, once again, at least 3 weeks, if not 4 weeks, they intersect, and then we don't see them for a while. Or we saw June 13th Luke for 2 weeks, and he had burned his house down 2 weeks before that, and it was really sweet. They have this road trip moment where instead of a picture with information from Farah, it was just a picture.
Yeah, it was just a picture.
Yep.
Thanks, Farah.
Just a picture, no information.
Yeah.
And then they keep moving along.
I feel like Luke is always traveling. He's always in cars. Like, every once in a while, we'll see him, in a house or at a building, but he's always traveling. It's like, okay, we get it. What else can he bring to this story?
Yeah, and his storyline. And his whole thing with his son and his arc. I've never been invested in Luke. His character, I've never felt invested in this character. I don't know if it's the way it's written, the way it's performed, the way it's all come together. I'm not invested in Luke's storyline. I think
the mystery is what kind of hurts us from being just purely connected. Like, we didn't know he had powers till like the third week, fourth week. Like, there was a lot of shroudedness where it's like, well, who is this person? Why do I care?
It's more like it's been a slow build that's been way too slow.
Yeah, and even with every reveal, with every little mystery that gets opened up to us as an audience, I'm kind of going, all right, I'm much more interested in other characters at this point, and I'm not buying into Luke and especially Joanne.
Well, let's just come right into the ice cream shop.
Most.
All right, Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Sunday Bloody Sunday. Casper Pennyman?
Yeah.
Pennyman Casper.
Pennyman
Casper. Good guy in the chat said a moment of silence for Pennyman.
All right, here we go.
And all right, we're good because he might still be alive.
That's right. I hope so.
Mm-hmm. We don't know. We don't know for sure. He comes in to wipe Emma's memories, which at this point is for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He has a moment to do it, and he doesn't.
For the first time.
Yeah, first time we've seen.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I actually like this because that kind of reflects the whole storyline with Claire and her best friend from the earlier seasons, that she was going through all these hard times trying to deal with her ability, and then the Haitian was going to wipe her friend's powers, or like her friend's memory, and then decided not to.
Yeah.
They're like, Claire needs someone in the world that she can, share all this information with, and, pretty much a therapy buddy. And so I kind of liked how that reflected with tonight's
That's a great
episode.
little like tie-in right there.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a great loop. I like that.
Tommy needs his friend that he can share all
That
this
said,
with.
And his first love.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That said, Joanne steps in, blows up the whole spot.
Oh yeah.
She's crazy.
Cray. Yeah.
But like
Absolutely
legit crazy. Like usually you can pinpoint to like issues and problems and reasons for a cat. Joanne's just cray.
Yeah. I mean,
Cray.
I
And
think
she has crazy eyes.
Oh, she got crazy eyes. Like, even regardless, look,
seriously.
if her son didn't die, she would have killed her son because she was cray-cray. Like, this woman is out her damn mind. Now, she shoots Casper, but this is the thing. I'm about to pull a Khalil Abubu right here.
Uh-oh.
Ready?
Okay.
Casper ain't dead. Hashtag Pennyman ain't dead. Casper ain't dead. Call it what you want. Pennyman ain't dead. Because it was just the way that he did it. It just seems odd for him to, to say to Tommy, I got this. And then make this big elaborate move with the pennies. The way he threw, like, the case. As if that was actually going to do anything to stop her from shooting him. And it didn't. She shoots the case and shoots him anyway.
It was a valiant effort, I guess.
I guess it was just a little odd and awkward why he would make that movement for someone who's as skilled and as intelligent as he is and has been doing this for so many years. It was a very strange thing to do. And then, of course, he dies.
Dies.
We're not there yet, but I'm sticking with he dies.
You're sticking with it?
I'm sticking with he dies. But Tommy, of course.
I guess they brought the Haitian back. You got to kill the other one who has the same power. Makes sense.
Maybe. Yeah, true.
Tommy shows up. Well,
two.
there's one of two Mexican standoffs. Which, little known fact, in Mexico, they're just called standoffs. But there's...
Really?
Clever.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
But there's the Mexican standoff at the ice cream shop where Luke is about to shoot fire at Joanne. Joanne shoots a bullet at Emma. And then who am I meant? And Emma
Molina's hanging out in the back.
And then Molina's there, and then Tommy's there.
Yes.
Tommy stops time for the first time ever that we realize he can go full on Hiro Nakamura.
Yeah.
And decides to move the bullet, move the flames, look puzzlingly at Molina, and then take Emma and just leave.
Yeah.
That was his way out.
Yeah.
That could have been so much easier. There were so many opportunities during that whole standoff that when Joanna got distracted so many times, Tom could have just ran over to her, poofed her into Lord knows where.
I agree with that.
And the whole scene would have been done.
Or just like turn back time to like before Pennyman gets shot.
Yeah, I don't think Tom's at that
She
point.
doesn't know what
he's
he's
there,
saying.
yeah.
But there were
he
so
could've
many
poofed her.
so many good opportunities for Tom to just poof her out.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that. Man,
Tommy poofs out with Emma.
Yeah.
Tommy poofs out with Emma, and we'll come back to him.
All right.
Luke, and everyone else comes back. Molina's just there, confused. Luke is there, confused. Joanne runs. Luke runs after Joanne. Joanne gets away. Cops get Luke. Find Luke.
Well, no, Luke takes off down an alleyway.
Yeah.
Luke, looks very suspicious at this point, was in the middle of the street while the cops are coming, waits way too long, and then tries to bolt for an alleyway. Like, next episode opens with a chase scene. Like, the cops chasing Luke. And Joanne is going to join Renatus.
Haitian is Bay. Harris is Bay.
Harris's, yeah.
Hashtag Harris is Bay.
Yeah, Harris is Bay. Oh, that's
Joanne
right.
has a new boo.
She's got a new boo. That's
got a
right.
new boo.
Oh, she got a new Bay. Look at that. Joanne.
Crazy.
Yep.
Is it Harris Prime? Do we know if it's Harris Prime?
You know what? It doesn't matter. She's gonna treat him like he's prime. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
hey, he's a new Bay right there. And you know what? Think about it this way. Like Joanne and Harris now getting together, like hooking up, like. Is that a threesome? Is that considered? Oh, okay. Harris and then you can just Harris and Harris and Harris. All right, let's keep going.
You have
went there. This is one of those nights.
Well, you have just described some we'll call it some slash fiction.
Yeah. Slash fiction right there.
You've just described you might as well write it before someone else does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm probably not going to write it, but I know Keith can probably write that. Keith can write the sexual love scene between Joanne and Harris and Harris and Harris and Harris and Harris and Harris. Yeah, enjoy that, guys.
Okay, I was seeing how many Harrises.
That was it. That's all I want.
I'm
just going to bury it. I'm not going to bury it. I'm going to save it for a little bit for later.
So let's rejoin Tommy. Before that, Tommy goes from the Tommy we've known for 3 weeks ago back to the Tommy that, by the way, Hiro Nakamura is your dad. Or Hiro Nakamura is not your maternal dad, but your dad. Was raised
your parental figure.
There you go.
Hiro Nakamura was your parental figure, and you have his powers. Claire Bennett, who is, I would imagine, a celebrity who died at some point in Odessa. She's your mom. We don't know who your dad is. Noah Bennett is your grandfather, and we wiped your memory. And you knew all this up until a year ago, where we wiped your memory.
Yeah, WTF, mate.
Take a minute.
Yep.
Just take a good sit and just think about it for like a second.
Mm-hmm.
And now he comes, saves the day in this Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Comes in, tries to take Noah. Where is he trying to take Noah? And Emma. Like they're trying to run away.
Wait. Tommy?
Tommy goes to the hospital, finds Noah.
Yes.
And says, we have to do this. I'm trying to remember what was his...
Basically, he's trying to get out of Dodge.
Yeah,
he's like, we got to get out of Dodge. Like,
you are in Illinois.
Yeah, he's like, everything's hit the fan at this point. We got to get out of here. And of course, he tries to use his power. And then we have, what was the name? The Shadow. What do they call her again? The Shadow.
I just call her Phoebe.
Phoebe's so much better. And I think they've never referred to her as the Shadow. Yeah, darkness is spreading. Darkness. But so Phoebe shows up, and of course, then Noah finds out about the butterfly.
Just literally
the butterfly.
Because Quentin turns.
Yes.
Quentin makes his official heel turn to Noah. And then we have our second Mexican standoff of the night.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Illinois, so it's actually a Mexican standoff.
All right, fair enough.
Noah has a gun at Phoebe. Quentin has a gun at Nathan/Tommy. And Noah is just kind of in the middle. Noah relents. They take Tommy away. Tommy runs into Erica, who early in the episode had shot a deer.
Oh, she went Sarah Palin. She went Sarah Palin on that thing. I swear, when that deer came out, she went and got the gun. I was like, dear Lord, she's Sarah Palin. I was like, you could see Alaska from her backyard. I was like, this, or you could see, what was it, Russia? You could see Russia from her backyard. I say Alaska. You see Russia from her backyard.
You definitely see Alaska from Sarah Palin's backyard.
And yeah, so she went Sarah Palin, took out the deer, and then chopped it up and cooked it, for Tommy.
That's so messed up. And I think that just shows the audience just how crazy of a woman she is and how sociopathic that she is. She has even no feelings towards animals, something as harmless as a deer.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all talking in the chat about Bambi's mother and saying that she killed Bambi's mother, and then you guys have been continuing the hashtag evil bitch thing going on.
Yep.
They've been keeping that going. You guys, thank you guys. I think it probably
crazy bitch.
Yep, crazy.
So speaking of Erica, though, Erica has become a formidable comic book villain.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
straight up kills a deer in her backyard, cuts it up herself.
Yeah.
serves it in her mansion.
Right. I gotta admit, as crazy as Erica is, she is fun to watch. Because we don't know, us as the audience don't know what she's really up to. Like, she always throws curveballs at us, and that makes her character interesting.
And she continues to show us that she's capable of doing anything. Like, she's just trying to raise the stakes every time, even something as simple as like, I will cut you, dear, I will kill you, and I will cut you myself. Like she...
And serve you.
And serve you for dinner. Like, no, like, you've said it right. She is like the epitome of like that comic book villain now. She's Lex Luthor. Yeah, she is that ideal comic book villain. I'm really enjoying Erica, because she is one evil...
Say it. Go for it.
Yeah,
She's an evil bitch. Hashtag evil bitch.
Or is she more like Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal Lecter.
No, Hannibal Lecter.
He's crazy in that way, and he'll serve crazy shit to people.
But she's evil. But she's the best kind of supervillain because she's evil with motives.
Yeah, and she thinks she's good. She's thinking the whole point is not when someone's evil and they think they're evil, it's not as good. When they're evil but they think they're doing the right thing, and it's horribly evil and it's so bad, but they're doing it all for the right, like what they consider justice. Oh yeah, no, that's real. That's a straight up sociopath. Yeah. We love that.
Yeah, but she sells real estate. Like her main MO is real estate.
Yeah,
and now we know if she's learned if you just go to the year 7957, so much real estate.
So much.
So much real estate.
She owns the market.
She owns that market.
Yes. 7957.
And that's what's been toyed with, that essentially she sits with Tommy. Tommy's relatively calm for everything he's had to take in today. That, you gotta remember, that morning he woke up, he just discovered he has powers. They had essentially implanted the memory of that time he was taken away as a child. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, by the way, there's a famous Evo. You're her son, therefore grandfather. And there's another famous Evo. And you're, like, kind of his son, too.
You got to save the world. And
then Mexican standoff. Mm-hmm. Another Mexican standoff.
And a guy dies right in front of you.
And now you're sitting across from Erica, the creator of those Google glasses.
Yeah. And
she's telling you that you're the key to saving the world.
A lot of craziness, huh? Yeah. Pretty wild.
Pretty wild.
And then that's where we leave it.
Yeah, we open up in 7957, and we see Miko.
She's here.
Yeah.
Well, and not only
Katana girl.
She hasn't aged today.
But before we see Miko, we see a butterfly.
That is true.
Yes.
Which means Miko would have died.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Miko would have died in the alternate. But we are in this timeline where the Haitian's alive, Miko's alive, Quentin's a heel, and those are the three big things.
Those are the big things, yeah.
And then Erica knows about the twins.
Yeah, and she's got a limp, which is even more gangster. Which makes her even more gangster.
For real, though.
Yeah, she's got a limp.
And she has a cane.
And she got a limp. She's got a pimp cane. What?
Don't discount the cane.
That's right. It's where she keeps her gun to kill your deer.
And then Miko sees a very shiny city and an otherwise desolate Earth, and starts walking towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that only leaves us with questions and predictions. And I think it's about that time.
Oh!
Yeah.
Just moving right along to some predictions.
Do predictions. All right, let's do predictions. Do we get it?
Oh, we'll get there.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. Before we get to straight up individual predictions, I'm just going to ask the panel, how did Miko get there?
Oh, help us online.
I think that's a butterfly in and of itself.
I know, help us online. How did Miko get there? Oh boy. I'm still a bit baffled. I'm going to need to go over this one at home for a little while. I'm going to have to piece it together. What do you got?
My only theory on that is when we saw Miko die, sacrifice herself, she, what would you say, dissipated in the game-like way that characters do. Maybe she appeared in the same way. So she left one game universe, came into the real universe in that way. I don't know.
That makes sense. I have a flimsy theory.
What do you got?
That another butterfly we noticed from this timeline we're now in is that Adamo realized he had been played by Erica, which I don't think he would have known had Noah not gone back and done everything he did. So Otomo saw... I'm saying his name right.
Otomo?
Otomo. I'm American and can... there's a little leeway there.
Sure.
Otomo did a little more programming, and then we even got Ren very quickly at the beginning of this episode when talking about butterflies, that he couldn't log into Evernow anymore.
That's right.
So my only theory, and it's rather flimsy, is that Otomo programmed 2 Mikos?
You don't sound confident about this theory.
You know how
it's
linked how games to when like characters die, you automatically get regenerated. Maybe he put in that. Yeah, you put in that same code for
year
Miko.
7957 is the respawn.
Essentially died. Just another form of her was regenerated.
I mean, to be honest,
Respawn.
You guys are saying like what you're saying is totally possible at this point, but really, I've got nothing better. I mean, guys, this one's killing me. That how Miko's is there in 7957. That one's killing me. I got nothing.
But it's not like there's absolutely Noah going back created Otomo doing something that Otomo didn't do otherwise.
But
that's the best I can do.
Yeah, but anything we do know that Katana Girl Miko is a person that can go in between worlds.
That too.
Without any hesitation. So it's no surprise that she would actually end up in a different world.
Well, that's interesting. Someone says when Miko saved Hiro in the game, he sent her there and gave her a second mission.
I can also buy that.
I like that. So far, I'm digging it. What a good guy that is. Good guy. Good guy.
So within the game, Hiro actually physically sent her body to the real future world.
And before we dump straight into predictions as well, I mentioned Ren.
Yes.
The actor who plays Ren, Toru Uchikato, that sounds correct. I will ask him when I see him next week, because he will be here next week for the fall finale in studio to talk to us, to talk to you in the chat. So tweet at us, tweet at him any of your questions that you want answered while he's on the couch next week.
We've got Ren next week.
We've got Ren. He's here.
Love it.
Now, what else do you guys have predictions wise?
All right.
You know what? I honestly don't really have predictions because my mind was just blown everywhere. I don't want to say it's too early for Casper joke, but but yes, rest in peace, Casper. I really don't know because so many things have changed now since the whole time in all the butterflies. So many things have changed.
This is mine. And it's I looks like Renatus and Erica have taken Tommy at this point, and they're going to try to convince him that their way is the right way, and we're going to see the twins have to battle mano a mano. I think they're going to be pitting the twins against each other in this last run of the show. This last, what is it going to be, 5 episodes we're going to have? Because we got the finale, and then how many more after?
4 more after. It'll be 5 from now, but next week will be the fall finale, and then they'll probably come back sometime in January for the next 4.
So what I'm seeing is that we're going to have pitted, brother and sister against each other. I think that's what they're building towards. So I think Tommy could even turn heel in some way.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Molina on the good side. She's going to be our face. So it's going to be face versus heel, brother versus sister. That's our final.
Well, you took mine, though.
No, that
was pretty much straight up.
Hey, but, much love, man. We same prediction.
But I also think that plays into Erica's somehow big masterful plan. That them fighting each other in 7957 will somehow create a better 7957, that at some point they'll figure that out and work together to save the current world where the magnetic poles are shifting and everyone gonna die.
I think more Tommy and Molina's powers, they themselves are magnetic poles. They repel each other when they're close.
That actually makes the most sense.
Yeah. So when they're far apart, they work like magnets and whatnot, but when they're too close, they repel each other. So, and I think that's also why maybe their powers are somewhat off when they're together, and why they've been apart for so long.
But they need him. Theory-wise, they need him to take everyone there.
Yes.
And they need her to build make it not as desolate.
Yeah, there is an interesting thing in the Marvel universe when two people of the same bloodline fight each other. Their powers are nullified when they fight. Like Cyclops, if you were to shoot Havoc, it just like doesn't do anything to him.
So it's just like brothers and sisters going like
exactly, yeah,
just tapping each
other.
So
Fascinating
they're immune
thing.
to each other.
Exactly. So I'm curious to see if that'll play into the concept of putting Tommy and Molina against each other. However, our predictions have been hit or miss quite a bit. But
our hits are wonderful.
Our hits are wonderful, yes. But so this one I could be wrong, but I'm with you. I think that'd be a cool storyline when you put them against each other. You know, Naruto, Sasuke. You know, it's that same concept. You take two characters that everyone is sort of rooting for, and you make them fight.
And Darius in the chat says Tommy kills Molina with his angst. She can't handle it.
So much angst.
So much angst.
That's not his primary power, but
he could kill the world.
That's
not
right.
just Molina.
It's there.
He could kill the whole world.
But those are our predictions. That's the show. We're actually out of here on time.
Oh, come on.
That's incredible.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
If the people want to talk to you, Marisa, where can they find you?
You can all follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
That hurt. And you can find me at KaibaCat. I want to let you guys know I'm doing a show at the Laguna Beach Playhouse. If anyone is in the Los Angeles, Orange County area, performing with Neil Patrick Harris, Marina Serafini, who plays Deanna Troi from Star Trek, we'll be performing at the Laguna Beach Playhouse all through the month of December. So come on out, check out the show, and if you write to me, I'll get you discounted tickets. I can do that.
Wow.
I'm serious. I can do that.
He's a boss like that.
Yeah.
You can find me at
awesome.
Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV, and I tweet about them regularly. Thank you, and good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Hashtag Hero Wars.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.